Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a new webinar of Rapidi about data integration. Today, we'll be diving into the world of maximizing business synergy, and we'll be exploring the powerful integration between Salesforce and Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance. So let me present myself. I'm Serene. I'm a sales consultant here at Rapidi. I'm excited to be your host for today. And here with me, my esteemed colleague, Andrea. Andrea is a data integration consultant, and she will explain some of the topics that we are going through today. So first of all, I will start with today's agenda. We will start with an introduction to Rapidi. Then we will go through Rapidi Data Integration Solutions. We will explain the integration between Salesforce and MS Dynamics 365 Finance. Then I will tell you about some of our customer testimonials, and I will also explain how you can get started with us, whether you're interested for being a customer or a partner. And in the end, we will have a Q&A session. So please feel free to write all of your questions and doubts in the chat, and we will go through them. So let's start by a first topic, about Rapidi, who we are and what we do. So at Rapidi, we have over 30 years of data integration expertise. Our journey started back then when Microsoft was a small group called Navision, and our CEO and founder, Michael Bock, was part of that group back then. And today, Michael is still playing an important role at Rapidi. And this speaks about our expertise and experience in the dynamics. So at Rapidi, we specialize for integration for two of the major players of the tech world, which are Salesforce and Microsoft, and we do other solutions. We can help you integrate any solution that fits your needs. So we have a worldwide coverage of customers through different industries. And we are offering to our customers a flexible, simple, and robust complete solution. We are using the cutting-edge cloud technology that is extremely easy as it's not using any programming, which makes it user-friendly and easy for everyone, and it's flexible to suit your needs. So at Rapidi, we do not only have expertise in integrating the systems, we also know the systems that we integrate very well, so we can help you from scratch decide which solutions work better for your organization. And of course, we are going the extra mile for our customers as we are offering the outstanding support, and we have great customer references, and we maintain the 5 stars in the AppExchange rating because we not only offer you the solution and leave you there, but we stand by you and give you an outstanding support post go live as it's included in the subscription that we offer to you. Of course, I will explain a little bit more in detail later. And I'd like to say that at Rapidi, we do not only help you to integrate your systems, but we stand by you so that you can grow with us. And now I would like to hand over to Andrea. Andrea, over to you.
Perfect, thank you. So now we'll start with this section. So it's about Rapidi Data Integration Solutions. From our point of view, we do think that data integration should be made easy and very straightforward. So it should be a very clean process where you don't really have to tackle any type of challenges or issues. Now, Rapidi is an innovative IpaaS. So we do focus on simplicity. We want to make sure that the design, the installation, and the use are simple. So we don't want to overcomplicate things. Rapidi is a cloud integration system that provides pre-configured templates, which allow you to integrate various systems. And also, we do have extensive expertise in integrating Microsoft Dynamics ERP, Salesforce, and many other systems that exist on the market. Now, Rapidi is an IpaaS with no staging of your data. It's very easy to be set up. You don't really need to have any type of technical expertise. We can connect multiple systems in multiple companies or legal entities. You can connect or you can transfer any data. It can be standard, custom, anything. And of course, our subscriptions are all inclusive in the sense that you know from the very beginning what you get within the package and how things will be organized. Now, speaking of systems that we work with, so here you can see the most common endpoints. So we do work a lot with the Microsoft ERPs and also with the Microsoft CRM, but we also work with other systems as well. We work a lot with Salesforce. We have also HubSpot. We work with a lot of SQL databases, Oracle databases, or any API-driven websites or platforms. So we can work with so many systems as long as we know which are those systems that you have in scope, and as long as we know how you want to integrate them. What you see here, these are the most common endpoints, meaning that there's a demand for them. So then we get to work quite a lot with them. Of course, there are situations when you might have a system that's not listed here, but it doesn't mean that we cannot work with it. We just need to know how to connect to that system and what are your requirements in terms of the systems integration. Now we'll focus a bit on the Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Salesforce. So when it comes to this type of integration, we do want to simplify things. We do want to make sure that everything is straightforward. But of course, we always get the question, why do you need to integrate systems? So here you have 4 buckets. So first of all, you do integrate systems because you get to have full collaboration. So when that happens, you activate your data, you get to have this full customer overview, and then this means that teams will be able to collaborate better. The second bucket is about efficiency. So when you integrate systems and when those systems talk to each other, you don't have double data entries. You don't need to switch between the systems, you eliminate rework, and then you get the full process automation. The third bucket will be quality. So as soon as the data is synchronized and everything is up to date, you get to have consistent data across the board. So this means that you have data which you can trust, and you can build better reports, and you can have increased user adoption. And last but not least, we have growth. So by integrating systems, then you have better decision support, you have increased customer satisfaction, and of course, then you sell more and faster. So when it comes to the benefits of any integration, so the key points would be the following. So first of all, for the sales teams, they will be able to access customer financial data. So they can see everything that has to do with that account, invoices, payments, anything. For the finance team, then they can see the sales forecasts and they can see everything that's related to that specific account. So they can see the sales orders and then the invoices and payments and everything that, any transaction that is related to that specific account. So it's really easy for all of them to get that information. And then, of course, you have efficiency gains. So it means that you eliminate manual data entry, right? All end users can focus on other tasks, and then you reduce errors. And in the end, when teams are able to focus on more important priorities and on the customer needs, then you get customer satisfaction. So then the teams will be able to respond faster, and they will have more accurate and more consolidated data in both systems. So when it comes to integration, if we talk about Salesforce and finance, then what's really important here is we have 3 points. So we have data synchronization. So whenever you integrate Salesforce and finance, then you keep all records up to date. So whatever you have in one system, you'll have in the other one. And at the same time, you can keep them updated. So you have customers, you have contacts, you can have orders. You can always send the updates back and forth so that you have the same level of information in both systems. The second point is process automation. So it means that everything is automated. You don't really have to go in and do anything about it. So for example, you create, let's say you have a sales order in finance, which is created based on an opportunity from Salesforce. So that's automated. So you don't need someone to go into the ERP and create that order manually. For example, you create new records and you update existing ones. So you have a new customer that you create in your ERP, and you want that customer to be also exist to also be sent over to Salesforce. So then via the integration, you can send the same information to Salesforce. So you have the same customer in both systems. And the same for contacts. So you have a new contact, so you wanted to send it over to Salesforce, you can do that. Sales orders or anything that you have in your system. And by having this full process automation, you reduce or eliminate data silos and any manual processes. And in the end, you have enhanced visibility. So you get to have this full overview of your data, both in your ERP and CRM, which would be Salesforce. Now, when we talk about Salesforce and finance, we also mention the data flows, right? Because whenever you have an integration in place, you want to define the type of data that will be sent either to Salesforce or either to finance. As you can see here on the screen, these are the most common scenarios. So whenever a company decides to integrate finance with Salesforce, that company will go and integrate the master data, which would be accounts, contacts, and then of course, transactions. So in this case, we have accounts. In Salesforce, we have accounts which then are transformed and sent over to finance as customers. So if you have a new account in Salesforce, you want to have the same information in finance, then you have the integration set up, and then the customer will be created in finance as well. The same thing happens for contacts, so you can have the same data. Then you have products. Of course, you need to have products in both systems and also their prices, make sure they're up to date. And then we have opportunities. When you have a new opportunity in Salesforce, then you work on it and then you close it in the end. As soon as you close it, you do want to generate a sales order. So the integration can do that and create a new sales order in finance, so then the teams can work on it. And of course, for the same order, you can send updates back to Salesforce if you want to. And then next would be payments. So you can also send payments and have all that information in Salesforce as well. And then you have invoices and credit memos. So you have them in your ERP, and if you want to have a full overview of that information, you can send it to Salesforce and they will be associated with that specific account. So for example, you have one account in Salesforce, and with that account, you have various transactions associated with. So that account will show a link to, let's say, invoices, payments, sales orders. So it will be very easy to understand what's the current situation of that account. And apart from that, you can also set up custom objects or tables, and you can integrate them if you want to. But of course, like I mentioned, the ones above are just the standard ones, the most common ones, and companies use them. But if you are in a different situation and you are using custom tables, then you can definitely do the same. There's really no issue with that. And here, the main idea is that we have built mapping templates for the standard scenarios. So we have done that because we want to help company to speed up the process and be able to complete the integration faster. But of course, if you are not a standard, let's say, company, and you have a lot of customizations, then you can definitely use custom objects tables and still integrate them with any other object in Salesforce or tables in finance. Now, speaking of standard and common scenarios, so this is the standard quote to cash example. So we have in Salesforce, usually you have the lead, and then based on the lead, then you have one account and contacts. Of course, as soon as you have a new account in Salesforce or contact, you want to send that over to finance. So then all teams see the same information. So that's something that's done via the integration. And then you have opportunities which are being closed, and you want a new sales order, and that can happen always via the integration. And as soon as you have orders in finance, you can also send back any updates regarding those orders or the products that are linked to that specific order. And then you have invoices, credit memos, and payments, which can also be synchronized. So then you have everything in both systems. Apart from that, you do have products, which can, of course, can be synchronized, and prices. If you have any updates with regards to your products or prices, you can send that over to Salesforce or from Salesforce to finance. And again, when we talk about the quote to cash, you can also have a custom scenario where you have a different business process. So that's okay. As I mentioned before, you can use any custom table or object in order to integrate your systems. Now, when we talk about the integration between finance and Salesforce, there are some common integration scenarios. So one example is the order management process. So you have a sales order in Salesforce, which triggers an automated order creation in finance. So as soon as you have the order created in Salesforce, then that's being sent immediately to finance. And by doing that, then you get to have the accurate inventory management, and the invoicing is fast, and also the fulfillment. The second scenario is about the customer financial visibility. So sales teams are able to see in Salesforce everything that has to do with one specific account. So you have one account, and then you can see everything that's related to it, such as invoices, payments, sales orders. So it's very easy and really fast to see what's the current status of that account. And another scenario, for example, is invoice synchronization. So you have your invoices created in finance, and you want that to be sent over to Salesforce and associated with that specific account. So that's happening via the integration. So then all sales teams get the right information for all accounts. Now, one workflow which is very common and it's really interesting is the following. So in Salesforce, we have a new opportunity which reaches a specific stage, and then based on that stage, then we should create a new order in finance. What happens is that as soon as the opportunity reaches that stage, then Rapidi will do everything else. So we read the opportunity details. We have all that data retrieved. We actually translate it and map it according to what you have in your finance environment and create the new sales order. So now what you have is a new order created with this new sales order number. And what you can do additionally, if you want to, as soon as you have the order in finance, you can also write back the order number into the opportunity. So this is a way to make sure that you have everything correctly updated. So you have your opportunity that's being closed, and then you have a new order, and that order is associated with that specific opportunity. So this means that everybody will see the same information in both systems. Now, when we talk about integrations, we also have to look a bit at the implementation process. So step number one is very important. You always have to go through this assessment. You have to look at the business requirements, how you want this to happen. Of course, you have to look at your current business process and see how that will be translated into the integration. So of course, an integration is supposed to make your life easier, not harder. So then it's really good to have a clear business process, and then maybe improve it via the integration. The second step is configuration. As soon as you start an integration project, you do have to work on this part, meaning that you connect your system. So we are able to connect to your finance environment and your Salesforce org, so that we have everything correct. And of course, then you can start using the mapping templates, or new ones can be set up if you have a very custom process. Then we have the third step, which is testing. As soon as you have the mapping completed and you are good to go with that part, you can go ahead and test. You can go through UAT, see how data is being sent from finance to Salesforce and back. It's really important to test all your use cases or even exceptions or even special processes, so that you don't have any surprises in production. So as soon as you are done with testing and you are confident that everything is okay, then you can deploy everything into production. You can say, okay, I'm ready to go. So I'm doing this into production. So then you are going live, and post go live, you have support. Support, which consists of ongoing monitoring and adjustments. Of course, you get support from the team in case you have any issues or concerns or you need help with anything. Now we'll take a look a bit at some of our key functionalities. We have discussed about some of them a bit, but we will just provide a bit more details. So some of the key functionalities are data mapping and transformation, real-time synchronization, customization and scalability, automated workflows, security measures, and monitoring and analytics. So the first one, data mapping and transformation. So we do provide data mapping and transformation capabilities. So you are able to customize any setup, any transfer, any data flow whenever you want. You can use the pre-built connectors and templates if you really want to use them, but if you have a very custom process, you can definitely create new ones without needing to go into any kind of standard setup. And of course, we have custom mapping. So you can map any fields. If you have a lot of custom fields in finance, or if you have a custom table there, you can definitely map data from it as long as we have access to it. And the same thing applies to Salesforce. In Salesforce, you can use the standard objects, but maybe you also have custom objects or custom fields. So it's the same thing. You can definitely use them. And then we have data transformation. So data will be transformed and converted so that everything is sent correctly. And then in the end, we do want to make sure that both systems are compatible and the data that you have in one system will be sent correctly to the other one. Then a very important aspect would be synchronization. Of course, you have the integration in place, but you also want to make sure that we have this full synchronization and that data is being sent correctly to the other system. So here we have some examples. So we have the order to cash process. So you have a new order created in Salesforce, and that can be automatically pushed to finance. So then it gets fulfilled and invoiced. So you don't really need to do any manual data entry. And this process can apply to any record or any transaction. And then the financial updates, so you get any updates that are related to a specific account. You can see everything that's happening with regards to new invoices, new payments. So then the sales teams can have a good overview of how, of the customer financial status. And then, of course, customization and scalability. We looked at this a bit, but of course, it's important to mention that Rapidi is scalable and can adapt to any business processes and structures. So you can scale your integration to include new companies, new processes, new departments. So you can do that without any issues. So this means that we can provide scalability for all businesses. So it doesn't matter if we are talking about a very small company or a large corporation. And customization is provided based on industry-specific needs, or maybe you have a very custom process. So in any case, you can customize any of your configurations at any point in time. So the point is that within Rapidi, via the automated workflows, then you streamline your processes. So everything will be automated, and then repetitive tasks are automated in the end. You don't really need to go through them. So you reduce the manual effort, you minimize errors. So you get rid of all those manual tasks. And a very important aspect is that you get the flexibility to customize your data flow so then they match your business requirements. Maybe you have started the integration in a certain way, but then after a while, you realize that you need to apply some changes. So you can do that. You can adjust your setup so that everything matches your requirements. And that can be done at any point in time. Then we have security measures, and of course, Rapidi is committed to data security and compliance. We do have encryption protocols, access controls, and other security features. In the end, we do want to make sure that companies feel safe about the way we handle their sensitive data. So that's something that's really important to us as a company. Next one would be monitoring and analytics. So whenever you have an integration running within Rapidi, then you get access to the monitoring and analytics tools. They allow you to track the integration performance. So you can see how things are going, if there are any issues, bottlenecks, and they give you the possibility to optimize your processes or even your current integration. So it's a good insight into what's happening with your integration and how everything is working from a performance point of view. Now we'll take a look at some of the Rapidi functionalities, just a few. If there are any questions, you can always use the chat and add them there. So one of the functionalities would be the write back fields. So here, so they are really interesting because they allow you to write back the IDs into the source field without having to do any extra setup. So there are two options here. We have the store new ID field. So you can store the ID of a newly created record into the source. So you have a new account created in Salesforce. And then as soon as the account is created, then Salesforce will assign a unique ID to it, and that ID can be written back into Finance. And then the second one is transferred field. Here you can write a timestamp, which is a date and time, or a text or a Boolean field back into the source on each transferred record. So this is a way for you to get this confirmation that the new record has been created and that everything is okay. So these are being used quite a lot, and customers, they do see the value in them. Then we have link storages. So link storages are dynamic lookup tables. So they can store your company data. But here we are referring to mainly to the unique keys that you have in both systems. So a link storage is a dynamic lookup table. It's not static, meaning that this will be updated at runtime. So whenever the data is being transferred from, let's say, Finance to Salesforce, then this list will also be updated with the relevant information. And it's something that's done automatically, so you don't need to intervene or adjust anything there. So this is being used by a lot of customers because it's really good for them to see the one-to-one relationship for each record. So you can see that for a specific account, you have the Finance customer number associated with the Salesforce ID. And then last but not least, we have tags. So tags are parameters or variables that can be set up at the connection or data flow level. So they serve a lot of purposes, but the most common one is the following. So in Finance, you will have a different instance for each legal entity. If you have 5 legal entities, you'll have 5 instances. So when you connect to them, you need to have separate connections. But on the Salesforce side, you just have one connection. So you have one org and you don't have anything else. So when you are using tags, you can define a parameter or a variable for each of those companies. And then when the data is being transferred, you can transfer it via a single transfer, which would act as a master transfer or data flow. So this is a way to keep everything organized and avoiding any double work in creating more transfer or data flows to include the other companies as well. So it's a very efficient way to transfer data from multiple companies to Salesforce. And just to summarize this part, so we do work on the Microsoft ERPs and Salesforce integrations, but we do also work on other types of integrations, for example, between Business Central to Microsoft Sales, or let's say other ERP or CRM such as HubSpot and Business Central. So any other combination. Rapidi is a cost-effective, scalable business model, and the integration via Rapidi is possible for cloud and on-premise systems. So with cloud systems, it's easy, but with on-premise sometimes it's challenging, and we can say that we do have a lot of experience in that area as well. We do have robust development tools. We have the mapping templates that I mentioned, which can be used at any point in time. But if you don't need to use them, then you can definitely go ahead and set up a custom transfer. And then it's approachable for non-IT users, so you don't need to be very technical or have a lot of experience. You can definitely deal with it by yourself. And it's manageable without IT resources. As soon as you go live, you don't need a specialized team to maintain it. It's really easy to be maintained without any special training or experience. And I think that's it. Back to you, Sreen.
Thank you very much, Andrea. Okay, so I'd like to summarize a little bit and explain why our customers consider Rapidi as an all-inclusive investment model. So the reason is that you will not have to go through any maintenance costs or any hidden costs. There is only one-time implementation fee and the yearly subscription that is already included the support. So what you get as a Rapidi customer is the integration platform, which is the integration configuration. You have access to the advanced data toolbox, log and notification, monitoring, and the Rapidi connector. Then you also get access to our integration templates, which are complete business processes. They are already pre-configured. They come with best practices. And of course, they are customizable. And we offer detailed documentation for everything that you may need. Third point is the support. So we'll help you maintain the integration. You can add fields to existing transfers. You have access to integration advisory. You can resolve the data errors. And of course, as I just said, you have our support included in the subscription. So whatever you need will be there for you. And now I would like to move to the next section, which is the customer testimonials. So at Rapidi, we feel extremely proud of our happy customers as we're holding the 5 stars as an average rating on the Salesforce AppExchange and also as a support rating through the past 5 years. So of course, this comes from our customers through different countries and industries who are extremely happy about the solution and the customer service that we are providing. And today I would like to go through one of these success stories or case stories, and I will take the example of Alimed. So first of all, I will tell you a little bit about the company so that you know who they are and what they do. So Alimed is a unique in healthcare products with customization capabilities. Their mission is to improve patient outcomes and experiences. They cater to patient needs from hospital settings to home care. They are built on exceptional customer service and high-quality products. The company was established in 1970 by Julian and Barbara Cerbini in Boston, and they launched custom insoles and braces in the 1974. So they are offering a variety of products with many available in custom sizes. And of course, I would like to tell you about the process they went through. So first of all, they had a transition to Salesforce CRM for enhanced ERP integration. They felt a need for improvement, so they looked for enhanced sales support that went beyond what their new ERP system offered. And they made some initial integration efforts as they acquired a new CRM system and partnered with a third party for the ERP integration, aiming to enhance the CRM and address data integrity issues. So they had some issues regards of the data quality. So some duplicate records were generated due to new accounts being erroneously created instead of linking to the existing ones, which compounded by insufficient tools to manage and resolve the data quality issues. So they had some integration obstacles as the integration was basic, resulted in ongoing record duplication. So they then targeted an improved CRM and integration solution. So more, they had to switch to Salesforce. Salesforce was then identified as a better choice for managing customer data, but integrating challenges persisted. So they made an evaluation of the Jitterbit. The integration choice did not resolve the ERP customization and data integrity issues. The first implementation test was unsuccessful after 7 to 8 months of development. So there came the strategic decision when they decided to import the definitive data list of healthcare location to eliminate duplicate records in Salesforce. And then they realized that the Jitterbit was insufficient for handling this complexity, leading to the search for an alternative solution. So back then they had data quality issue in the system and they didn't have the tools to solve it. So they decided to choose and implement Rapidi, and this is where we help them, for example, in the research finding, as they discovered Rapidi's mirroring feature for data integration. We had them for the data push as we enabled seamless transfer of customer data from definitive data to Salesforce without the TAN stamps. When it comes about the SQL table utilization, we defined a table to connect multiple healthcare locations in definitive data to their ERP system. Custom configuration. So here, Rapidi easily handled custom configuration, simplifying table management. We helped the update to the middle table reflect change in Salesforce without issues. We also help them to solve legacy issues of grouping multiple healthcare sites under one customer in ERP. When it comes about the meaningful analytics, we help them work on the ability to create detailed account records in Salesforce linked to specific healthcare facilities. We also enabled analytics on purchase and trends at local healthcare sites instead of just at the corporate level, and the Rapidi consultants improved data transfer efficiency and reduced the time to access historical sales data in Salesforce. So then they, from Animed, they said that Rapidi is one of the best software purchases that they made to help them support their Salesforce implementation. And we have here the reflections of a successful implementation. So the initial focus on the cost effectiveness in integrating ERP with Salesforce. They learned that the cheapest solution isn't always the best. Expertise really matters. Partnering with Rapidi improved the data accuracy and integration. And they benefited from Salesforce ticketing system for quick problem resolution. The reports submitted are often addressed overnight, enhancing efficiency, and they view Rapidi as a crucial investment for Salesforce support. So before Rapidi, they lacked visibility of errors, and now they have a comprehensive oversight. And the emphasizes of the importance of moving forward rather than reverting to past challenges. So this is explaining the difference between before and after Rapidi. So before Rapidi, they couldn't see errors and couldn't fix problems themselves. And now they have much visibility. They can see jobs being run and they can control them. And of course, they have all the details of activities, including errors and the logs. So as they say, we can't go back, we can only go forwards now. And now I'd like to move to the next section. I would like to explain how you can get started with us. So it's really easy. All you need to do is to visit our website. You can see it here, RapidiOnline.com. So you go to the Contact Us and you fill your contact details, and you can say in few words whatever you need, whether you're interested in being a customer, you can tell us about your project, or if you're interested in partnership. And of course, we will get back to you. We can have a phone call or meeting and discuss and decide the next step. So when we decide to start working together, this is the Rapidi implementation process. So as we work with a lot of transparency, would like to explain the steps that we go through. We call this the 5-phase approach. And this is what we use to make sure that we have smooth implementation. So first of all, we will have the discovery phase, which is the integration project scope validation and project kickoff. Then we would move to the onboarding, which is basically onboarding you into our Rapidi platform and Basecamp as the collaboration platform. Third step would be the configuration, which is the integration configuration on the Rapidi platform again, and end user testing. We then move to deploy to production, which is the initial data synchronization, upload of historical data, and the actual cutover to the production environment. And finally, transition to support. We have the post-go live support, project closure, and transition to the operational support. I hope it's clear, and if you have any doubts, I will be happy to help and answer any doubts you have. And talking about doubts, it's time of the questions. So I'll be checking the chat first. So for now, I don't see any question in the chat, Andrea. I will go through the questions that you prepared, and if I see any question, we will go through them first, of course. So first of all, how to set up your data integration project in 3 steps.
So here, step number 1 is to define your business process and scope together with that, because you do want to know exactly what will happen via the integration and how data is going to be synchronized. And then second step is connect to your systems. Of course, we have to connect to both systems and make sure we have the right permissions and all that, and we can access the data. And then the third step, which would be make sure that they are synchronized in the sense that you start sending data from one system to another by using either the standard templates, or you just have separate, let's say, custom data flows in your Rapidi service. So those are mainly the 3 steps that you have to go through. Of course, you have more details, actions for each one of them, but that's why I mentioned initially, if you're using the mapping templates, then you speed up the process quite a lot. And then the project will not take a lot of time. So it can take up to a couple of weeks, and then you are done.
Okay. Next question is, when shall we start our integration when considering to upgrade from an earlier ERP like AX to Finance?
Yeah, so I think any upgrade from an older version to a newer version or anything like that, then that will take time. So you can start the integration as soon as possible, because then you can make changes afterwards, right? So if you're using AX right now and you're thinking, oh, we want to migrate to Finance, but this can take a very long time, then you can start working on it. And as soon as everything is ready in your Finance environment, you have all your live data and everything, then you can go ahead and just switch from one to the other and start sending data over to Salesforce. So you can, I mean, from our point of view, you don't need to wait 1 year or 2, or how much you need. You can definitely start right away, and then when everything is ready, you simply switch from the old one to Finance, and then you also enable your integration, so you have your data in Salesforce.
That's clear. Okay, one more question. So what would the process be if I decide to change my CRM?
So here, let's say, okay, you have a different CRM that's integrated with your ERP. So then you're switching to a different, a new CRM that there is on the market. So what you need to do, you can repurpose your integration, right? So if you have something ongoing right now and data is being sent to, let's say, Salesforce, but then you move away from Salesforce and use something else, you can repurpose it. You have to make some minor adjustments. You have to change a few things, but then the basics will be the same. So from our perspective, if you are in that situation, you can reach out to us and say, okay, this is the plan. We want to move away from this CRM and move to a new one. And we can estimate how much time is required, what we need to do in order to make sure that you have a very good transition from one to the other. The idea is that we do think that you can always repurpose what you have set up instead of starting something from scratch. Mm-hmm. Of course, there might be differences between those CRMs and how data is being stored, but you still have a good start if you use what you have. So usually it's important to reach out to us when that's happening. That will be considered as an add-on, so would be like an additional project that the customer will work with one of the consultants and we'll make sure that the transition is done correctly, and then we don't have any impact on the live data.
Thank you again. Okay, so how do we deal with the integration if we have plans to roll it out to other countries?
Yeah, so I think a few slides back, we mentioned about Rapidi being scalable. So you can scale your integration. So for example, we have situations when a customer starts with one country, let's say US, and then after 6 months, the customer will say, I also want to include Canada and other countries. So you can use the same integration to include the other countries, and you can benefit from that. So you have one country that's already running live, so you can add a second one. You just have to connect to that new country, make sure you get all the information, and then run a couple of tests, and then you can enable it in production as well. So it's really good that you are at that point where you already have something running, which is already set up, is configured correctly, and adding new countries is definitely a pretty fast process. The idea is that if you require help to actually go through this rollout plan, then you need to reach out to us, explain your current scenario, and then of course we'll have to estimate how many hours are required for this rollout if you have just another country, or if you have 10 more countries, and how we need to set it up, and then we will be able to help and have everything in the same place.
Makes sense. Okay, so why should we choose Rapidi integration platform instead of building integration by ourselves?
Yeah, so I think here the main point is that if you want to be efficient, if you want to save costs in general, if you want to have results right away, then you would use a platform such as Rapidi, because it's a platform that has proven to work. So you simply have to go ahead and use it and have your integration completed. If you're talking about building something by yourself, then that can be a lengthy process. It means that you need to invest in that process. So that means resources. It means a lot of, let's say, discoveries. The resources will probably need to be very specialized, or if not, they have to go through training. And financially, of course, you do have to invest a lot into it. So when you build something yourself, you have so many unknowns. So you don't really know if this will take 1 year, or if it will take less. And then you don't really know if your initial investment is enough for that specific project. So I think that if you really want to use something that is good, that has proven to work, and it provides you everything that you need, you would go ahead for platforms such as Rapidi. But then if it's just a personal choice, or a very, an internal project that you want to work on, then you will build something by yourself. But you have to take into account all the challenges and the risks that are associated with the process.
Makes sense. Okay, one more question. How to ensure the best data mapping?
So here it's really important to know how your data is structured in both systems. And also how, and then of course, if you have any restrictions, or if you have any pick list, or if there's anything custom or special about your data in general. And of course, if you have a lot of restrictions in finance, for example, then you should have the same thing in Salesforce. So you need to control that in a way or another. So the systems have to be compatible from that point of view. Of course, within Rapidi, you can convert, you can do a lot of things that will actually handle those situations where systems are really not compatible in terms of the data types. But it's like a best practice to make sure that what you have in finance, in terms of how data is being set up in structures, you also have it in Salesforce. And don't have a system that's very restricted and has a lot of rules, and the other one is open and very flexible. That's not good from an integration point of view. So that's the idea. Make sure that you know how your data is structured, And then if you identify specific situations, then those will need to be discussed and included in the mapping in a way that we don't have issues in the future. If you don't look at that, if you ignore this part, then you might send data to Salesforce, and then Salesforce might reject it and will say, okay, this does not comply with my format requirements, so I don't accept this. So then you get all these errors, and that's not fun to deal with.
Yeah. Okay, one more question. Why should we choose Rapidi integration platform instead of using any other standard integration tools?
Yeah, so I think first reason would be that when you choose Rapidi to work on an integration, then you get full transparency in the sense that you know from the very beginning what you get. So you know for sure, okay, what the project consists of, what's the scope, how things will be done, pricing and everything. And also, of course, you get all those details written down, so you don't have any surprises.
Mhm.
Of course, there when we talk about other integration platforms or tools, usually the process is to go on a T&M basis, meaning that you are billed as you go. There's really no like a fixed way of providing you with an estimate. So it's just okay. You get this this number of hours, and then you keep buying those packages until you finish the integration. But that's not a great way to work on an integration. And of course, another aspect here is support. So whenever you work on an integration, you finish that integration, and then you are being handed over to support. So you do need to have some sort of support or help from someone if you need anything. When it comes to other standard integration tools, support is not really something that's included. So it's something that's separate. In our case, we do have it included. So as soon as the customer goes live, then that customer will get all the specialized support that's needed in order to deal with any issues or challenges. So that's a very important piece, because maybe there's something that you don't know how to resolve and you need someone to help you. So, and then you need a fast response. You need someone that could give you something really fast. And like I mentioned, there are so many standard integration tools that don't include that, or the level of support that's included is not enough from an integration point of view. So the support team is not specialized enough in order to help you with that. And then another point would be the mapping templates. So we do have the standard mapping templates that can be used by any company. But if we talk about other standard integration tools, they also have that, but those are restricted. So in the sense that you want to integrate Finance and Salesforce, you get the specific number of templates. So you have to apply them on your integration as they are, without being able to add custom fields or make any changes there, or even add some additional transformations. So that's something that's very limited. So you have to use them as they are. If for some reason you don't fit into that, then you have to go and start this custom setup, which is a completely different thing. Our mapping templates, so they are standard in the sense that they are built on the most standard scenarios, but they can be adjusted. They can be adjusted. You can add more fields. You can do whatever you want with them and use them on your integration. So you are not limited to a specific number of fields or a specific type of object. So you can definitely play around with that and then use it the way you want it.
So if we'd like to summarize the good points that you highlighted, we said transparency, efficiency, expertise, good support, satisfaction, a lot of things.
A lot of things, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Andrea. We are running out of time. No more questions for now. So I would like to announce some dates for the future webinars that we have. So next webinar will be on the 22 of Jan. The topic will be Salesforce MS Dynamics 365 Business Central integration. Then we have another webinar the 20th of February. It will be about HubSpot and MS Dynamics 365 integration. So if you're interested in the topic, you can register. If you cannot attend, you can watch the recording. And even if you have questions after watching the recording, you can send us an email. We'll be really happy to answer. So stay tuned. Then we invite you to visit our website. You can download solution overviews, more case stories if you'd like to see anything maybe more related to your field or country or solution that you need. You have access also to the documentation on the Rapidi wiki. And if, as I said, if you're looking for something else that you don't see on the website, feel free to ask us. We will be more than happy to help you find it or share the information with you. And feedback. So we will be posting the link here in the chat also, so that you can give us the feedback. Shortly after the webinar, you will receive the slides. You will receive a link to give us the feedback. So it really helps us to improve and decide which topics we can take for the next webinars. So if you can write few words, we think it can really help us. So we'll be really happy to read it. And please follow us and connect through our social media channels. You will see very interesting information and updates in our LinkedIn. You can follow us on our Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You have some nice videos over there. And that's it. I would like to say thank you for watching us, and we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.